Donald Trump. Fox Business is the source.
Well, Iran warning that a drone might strike Donald Trump while he's at MAR-A-LAGO. And Turner is at the State Department with more on this. Jillian, tell us about this.
Well, David, President Trump is now being targeted by Iranian death fatwas, including direct from regime officials themselves. Notably, this comes at the same time that Washington and Tehran now are trying to re-energize the Iran nuclear negotiations. Take a look at this pretty shocking commentary. It comes from an advisor to Iran's Ayatollah. He says Trump can no longer sunbathe in Mar-a-Lago because while he's lying down, a microphone might target and strike him right in the navel. So in addition to being really strange, this is not the first time the president has been on the receiving end of a threat like this. An Iranian assassination plot, you will remember, was uncovered just a few weeks before the now infamous Butler rally. Nevertheless, the president didn't sound overly concerned about this new threat when he was asked about it yesterday. Take a listen.
Do you think that's a real threat? And when is the last time you went sunbathing anyway?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I don't know. Maybe I was around 7 or so. I'm not too big into it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's a threat. I'm not sure it's a threat, actually, but perhaps it is.
So one watchdog group is now demanding sanctions on Iranian clerics that have issued fatwas, these being legal decrees that call for the torture and assassination of President Trump and any other Americans. The last fatwa, you'll recall, against a U.S. citizen was Salman Rushdie. It nearly cost him his life when he was attacked on stage. Right there you can see on your screen at New York's Chautauqua Institute. The State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce didn't provide us details this week when we asked where the nuclear negotiations stand right now. Listen.
While I can't speak, obviously, to the choices President Trump will make, what we do all know is that he is a businessman. Americans appreciate that about him, the nature of how he looks at the issue of national security and safety.
It's really, David, not just the president that faces a threat. Any Americans who have any ties to Iran are now fair targets to the regime here in the United States. They have said that. There's also a State Department level 4 warning telling Americans not to go to Iran for any reason whatsoever. Believe it or not, Americans are still traveling there. It's causing a lot of things for the State Department.
Okay, so I want to go back a little. Trump can no longer sunbathe in Mar-a-Lago because while he's lying, a micro drone might target and strike him right in the navel. Hello, Brandon. I take it serious because Iran ain't nobody you want to play with. They've been this way, what I would say combative for many years when I was a child, okay, 70s, 60s. So as we say in the street, fuck around and find out. This man doesn't take anything serious. Everything's a joke. He's sitting here with a peeling and says he hasn't sunbathed since he was 7. Well, you've been sunbathing somewhere because your skin looks horrible. It is not a natural pigment for a Caucasian male. So you're lying in something and somewhere, okay? You're lying somewhere. A new movement in Iran claims to have raised more than $40 million online as a bounty for the of President Donald Trump after fatwas or religious decrees issued against him by senior clerics of the Islamic regime. Grand Ayatollah Nasir Makarom Shirazi, Iran's top Shiite cleric, and Grand Ayatollah Hossein Nouri Hamadani issued fatwas Trump after the U.S. bombings of Iranian nuclear facilities last month, citing alleged threats against Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and that anyone who works with the U.S. and Israel is an enemy of Allah. Shirazi claimed that any Muslims of the world who successfully assassinate Trump or Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be deemed warriors of Allah and receive blessings. This is no...
An advisor to Iran's Ayatollah.
This is no joke, okay? Maybe to him it's funny. being in this type of situation, people making threats. I'm trying to pull up the picture where he was attempted assassination last year. Hold on one second. I don't find it funny. Nobody should want to be shot at. And you remember this from last summer where somebody, a young boy, young male, almost killed him. Almost killed him in Pennsylvania. And for him not to have any formal training in shooting, hell, he clipped that damn ear. Call a spade a spade. 40 million bounty on Mr. Trump. Any entities involved with U.S. or Israel. That's what it says. Anyone who works with the U.S. and Israel is an enemy of Allah. So, Mr. Trump, you may not be sunbathing, but somebody don't like you over that. And there's a whole lot of somebodies over here that don't like you. And I think you have taken for granted your role in government. Okay? Sorry about that, everybody. You've taken advantage of your role. You've not been a kind person, very nasty, horrible mouth. Heard him cussing the other day in a formal live meeting. Who does that? Never heard a president say bullshit on a live broadcast. This man has no manners. He has the education of a third grader. And as I told somebody yesterday or the day before, yesterday, I said, he only came to wealth from his father. If it wasn't for his father, he'd be a used car salesman. Did not finish college. He's a misfit. And what's sickening about Donald Trump is that he's an old fool. Now, it's one thing to be a young fool, but an old fool, come on. You're too old for this. I don't know, Randa. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's so sickening about him is that this man is near 80 years of age and nothing is serious to him. Everything's a joke. He talks bad about people. Even the people he brings on his administration, he will throw daggers at them. He doesn't get what he wants from them. God forbid he feels like he's been betrayed. Sorry, my screen keeps blinking out. This man doesn't care about anything. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Hold on. I'm having difficulties. This screen just won't stay up. Okay. He doesn't care about anything. Yes, he is evil. And what's sickening is that he's an older person. He doesn't have respect for women, children, handicapped individuals. The fact that he would tell his own nephew to put his adult son in a facility who's mentally handicapped, be done with him. That shows you he has no regard for life. So it doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man, a child, white, black, Mexican, Jewish, Iranian. It doesn't matter. He just has no empathy in him. He's just a person walking around. To me, he's like a doll, a stuffed doll, just full of cotton, full of straw. And that's what we should call him, the straw man, because his face looks like straw, dried orange prune, just a miserable heathen. And he needs to take it serious because if they can't fly the drone over here, they can find somebody here to fly the motherfucking drone, okay? Last year, his house had heavy security down in Florida, his mansion at MAR-A-LAGO. The point is, you can be got. And the fact that he carried his stupid self out in the middle of nowhere when he didn't do a proper security clearance, CIA or whoever, didn't do a proper clearance of that field where they had that rally, shows you you can be gotten. And that's life. You can be gotten, and that's what people need to understand. And Iran is not some people you want to play with. 40 million bounty on Trump's head. Will they act it out? Will they find somebody to act it out, either by drone or by a human? And I'm telling you now, when that SHIT went down last year at that rally, the first thing I thought was, how does he know that these people, Secret Service, are on his side? Say, well, how do you know there's not a few people in that Secret Service detail might have wanted you out? Anybody working for you now may not like you, may have a problem with you. You cut a lot of government jobs. I won't doubt there are a lot of people who are Republicans who got their jobs cut, fired from Washington, D.C., and they're looking at you side eye. But see, this is why God tells you not to put your faith in man, because you will surely be disappointed. So it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, independent, either or. The point is, you can't put your faith in man. That's the point. These are the latest headlines pertaining to Mr. Trump. Quite a few videos in the queue dating back a few months to last year. He laughed it off about the drone. Ain't no big deal. I don't know. Could be a threat. Could be. He doesn't care. What Trump wanted to do was win, get back in. He was defeated after his first round as the president, and he's angry. Biden beat him, and it really wouldn't matter if it was Biden or Mickey Mouse. He's just mad because he didn't get to re-vote. So he is on a path to war. But as you see, a lot of his ordinances he's trying to put into effect, judicial ordinances, they're being blocked by judges, such as the situation out in California. He cannot overrule everything. Immigrants in California cannot be arrested unless there's probable cause. I brought you all a short on that. A judge has put that into a ruling with the Trump. There will be no immigrant arrests unless there's probable cause. I'm all for everybody being legal in this country. I have no problem with that. I think everybody should be legal, because we can't just go move into other people's countries and just live. You do need to be legal in a country or have some type of visiting status. But some may say, people have been living here so many years, 10, 20 years, so it's a matter of your perception. But illegal is illegal, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people depending on these foreign people to do jobs they wouldn't do. Just keeping it real. Black, white, whomever. And really people want these foreigners here really to use them, because they know, hey, I'll take any job I can get just so I can stay in this country, try to live. You're entitled to your opinion on the immigration situation. And in the end, that situation could have been avoided many moons ago had a proper wall sealment of the border been enacted. We wouldn't even be talking about this in 2025. Because I don't really think we should still be talking about a wall. It should have been up. It should have been up. Because you got other people coming through Mexico from other countries, such as China, if you didn't know that. I've talked about that briefly a year ago. People selling all their goods, flying into different ports, airports, and making their way into Mexico, paying a lot of money just so they could flee China. So it really is a serious situation of people wanting to become United States citizens or just get into the U.S. by all means necessary, and not just Mexicans and South American citizens, refugees. A lot of people want to get to the U.S. and they're doing whatever they have to do to get here. I watched a YouTube video about it, and it shows their videos showing these people how to infiltrate to get into America. So we're still a hot commodity. Even though we got a lot of problems, we're still a hot commodity. That's the latest, everybody, pertaining to Mr. Trump. $40 million bounty for the assassination of Donald Trump. Grand Ayatollah Nasser Makarem Shirazi, Iran's top Shiite cleric, and Grand Ayatollah Hossein Nouri Hamadani issued fatwas against Trump after the U.S. bombings of Iranian nuclear facilities last month. Will they follow through with the drone attack on any entity, the Trump administration, Mr. Trump, Israel, anyone affiliated with Israel? Will we have us an all-out war against America? I don't think we'll ever stop having people who hate Americans, America. And as they said, if you're over there, get your tail out. Don't be over that if you're an American. Israel, Iran, all that. I don't believe in going in third world countries to visit anyway. People do it all the time. I don't think it's a good idea. So long as you're fair skinned, you have the propensity to become a target for robbery, murder, blackmail, whatever. Okay? As soon as they hear you're from America, you look white, hey, that's just common sense. I don't care where you go. You are a target. Whether you go to the islands, Mexico, Bahamas, abroad, third world countries, missionary work, it don't matter. You're there on business, you are a walking target. And now we see this man here, he's helping America but still become a target because he can't stop talking. He couldn't stop tweeting it over the years. He don't know when to be quiet. He has no manners. He's just making things for America worse. And there are people who travel abroad, have family abroad, they work abroad, they have a right to travel. But you should know that when you go to these different places, you are a moving target because you are an American or you're fair, it's common sense. And being from America, it's not helpful when you have a who is the leader and he can't be quiet. And he falls out with everybody. I knew that SHIT wasn't going to work for Elon Musk. People joking about deporting him. He's like, oh, we'll have to look into that. Why would you even say that on a live news broadcast? We'll have to look into that. Well, you the one that took Elon Musk up there to the White House. Oh, now you got a problem with him because Elon didn't agree with what you were trying to, with the budgets, the spending. You're cutting food programs, medical programs. Now there won't even be food at the food pantries. I get it. We have debts. We need to try to clear the debts. I get that. But helping people starve, how's that going to help? Because desperate people do desperate things. And that's what Mr. Trump doesn't understand. He doesn't have food, shelter, water, light bill, gas bill, car note, feeding kids, paying school loans. He don't have to worry about any of that because he's made his way already. He's made his way in the world already. So what does he care? He's on easy street. He's an old man. He'll die with money in his pocket. He'll die with money in his bank account. And many people out here, they're barely making it. They actually work, they have jobs, but they're barely making it, okay? There are people out here barely making it. People work every day and they don't have nothing. This one guy said that yesterday, my transport driver. When I got on this transport van yesterday, he said, I work, I'm barely living. And that's the whole point. People think, oh, get a job, get a job. Your life will be easier. You're just finding another way to accumulate more debt because that's the point. You have to live. You have to pay bills. You have to eat. You got to put gas in your car. You got to pay for transportation, however you get into work. God forbid you got a car that's not working well, your car breaks down, well, it's got to go in the shop. You got to Uber, got to Lyft. You don't got to guarantee that an Uber driver or Lyft's going to come pick you up at the time you need to be picked up. This is some savagery we're living in right now. Just savagery. Many people getting their food stamps cut off. Naturally, they want you to be an able-bodied working adult in order to get food stamps. But there's some people who just cannot work physically. And as I always said, the job that you do, somebody else can't do. You're an engineer, you're a doctor. Well, everybody can't be an engineer, a doctor. Maybe the only thing they can do is sweep or clean out office building. Manual labor work. Because that's the whole point. Everyone does not have the mind, the fortitude to do the same type of work. Everybody's not going to be college educated, where they can go out here and work a salary job. And as you see with the government cuts, due to this blockhead being voted in, you can lose your job at a moment's notice. We also have some job cuts that are going to be taking place here in Knoxville from these budget cuts from Mr. Trump. We already got a transient city going on. We have a lot of homeless people living in this town. Over 1,000 or so people are homeless. I think it's more, up to maybe 3,000 if I'm not mistaken. I'll stand corrected on that. Now imagine how many people are homeless in California. But we're going to talk about the homeless situation in California and around the world. So I want to talk about they're now cleaning up the streets in LA. You also can be fined in certain cities. But then what's the point of finding a homeless person? They're not going to show up to court for what? but I don't agree with tents on public streets. I will admit to that. I don't think any street should have tents on them, sidewalks. It doesn't look good. I don't care what type of neighborhood it is. I don't care what businesses are on the street. We do not need tents on sidewalks. But I'm going to come back on another date. We're going to talk about the homeless situation here in America because the rent has gone up. A lot of people are homeless, sleeping in their cars, vans, in the woods, everywhere. A lot of people want to be homeless. That's another thing that people don't understand. If you've never really dealt with people who are destitute, a lot of people on drugs, that's one reason why they're homeless, because they don't have the mindset to keep a job. They can't be a functional addict. We're going to talk about all of that. But the way the world is going, especially with this blockhead here, he's leading us into the abyss. This is why you don't put people on pedestals. I don't put my faith in Donald Trump. He's not my God. He's not my leader. I didn't vote for him, okay? I would have never voted for anybody who has a tongue such as his and talks so vile about women and has no respect for people. Let me make that clear. He doesn't respect anyone. It's not even about race. He has incited to me racial issues, but Donald Trump does not care about you, your mother, your dog, your cat. And the fact that he and Melania have gone to Texas, I didn't even open the video to see what he had to say. What was the point? Because to me, he's a fraud. And he's not genuine. And I've seen some people who are Republicans that I don't really have a problem with them, per se. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't judge people by Democrat, Republican. But I think a lot of people are delusional who vote as Republican because what they don't think of is a rainy day. And all these people who are being faced with natural disasters from Tennessee, North Carolina, California, Texas, you know damn well that most of those people are possibly Republicans and voted Republicans, and now they don't have a house. They don't have a car. So who do you think is going to fight for them to try to get money from FEMA, try to get back on their feet, make sure they get washing powder, soap, diapers, food? It won't be a lot of Republicans. I'm going to keep it real. Because most Republicans don't think you should get anything free. Until what? There's a disaster? Oh, yeah, well, you deserve something free now because something bad's happened to you. You lost your house, you lost your dog, lost your... We'll give you something free now. But like somebody said, they work. They put their money into Social Security, paying taxes. So no matter what happens to you, whether you're up, down, you should be able to get something. And I remember a lady saying that when Katrina hit, and they had those little washing type situations set up down in Florida where you could wash your clothes for free. You know, when they were porting people around the United States from Louisiana. This white lady said, why should I feel guilty about getting something free when I've worked all my life? I shouldn't feel shame that I'm destitute from this storm. I'm having to wash my clothes in this public washing situation. You know, it's like a portable washing laundromat outside because they had set up these machines for people to wash their clothes who have been hit by Katrina, you know, when they were moving people all around the United States. And she said, why should I feel guilty that I'm in this situation? I didn't ask for the storm. I didn't ask to lose my house. I've worked all my life. So if the government, the state wants to give me free clothes, money on a card, food stamps, gift cards, I'll gladly take it. And that's how people need to think. Nothing wrong with getting something free. I get it. You have to work for something at some point. But if you lived your life and you've worked hard, you've put your money in, you've paid your taxes, the due bill as I call it, something bad happens to you, there's nothing wrong with you getting something free from the state, from the government, from a donor. And frankly, I'm the type of person, if somebody's giving away something free and I can use it, I don't have any problem with receiving it. Because as the old saying goes, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And we are a wasteful society. We waste, waste, waste. And you can see that all the time by looking at the things that people throw away in the garbage. Food, clothes, shoes, toiletries, over shopping, hoarding stuff in their homes, houses, garages, storage units. We're a wasteful society. We're a wasteful society. And there's people who wish they had half of the stuff that we have, especially those people living in third world countries. And I say that even with about Africa and India, overpopulated places, ran by hierarchy. There's no reason for people to be wealthy in South Africa with barbed wire around their houses. And then you've got all these African people living in villages and huts and don't even have water, don't even have Wi-Fi. What type of mess is that? Okay? What type of mess is that? You out here in the village in the middle of nowhere with nothing, just a donkey in the dirt, while, excuse me, other people in the land are living wealthy in nice houses, condos, have access to a car, water, heat, air conditioning, and you don't have anything. That's the greed of man, and that's our problem. Man has been greedy since the day Adam and Eve ate from the tree and realized they were naked and had to go run and hide, cover up. Man has always been greedy. He had no problem with enslaving people for his own selfish needs. And we still live in a society that's like that today. Hierarchy. There's no reason for anybody from here to Africa, India, China, UK, Canada should be without. Nobody should be sleeping on a dirt floor, don't have running water, don't have food, don't have a structure to sleep in, a bed. There's no excuse. I don't care if you live in rural South Africa, rural Canada, you live in rural UK, Ireland, it doesn't matter. Everyone should be entitled to the same luxuries. And with this blockhead in office, we'll be eating out of garbage cans if we're not careful. And I always tell people, desperate people do desperate things. That's why you have a lot of people committing crimes, because they became desperate. It's not, God forbid, you decide to go steal from his house, purse. Because you see, one thing begets another. Desperation. And I remember a man saying that when the economy failed many moons ago, around 07, 08, he said, you're going to see a lot of more women committing crimes. And he has not lied. You do have more women committing crimes. Fraud, theft, abuse. Because also the mind is fragile, not just your pocketbook. That's the latest, everybody. $40 million bounty on Mr. Trump. Threats to Mar-A-Lago, hitting Mr. Trump in the navel while sunbathing. Shut your mouth. And I can tell you, Donald Trump ain't thought nothing about what these people have said because he doesn't care. He's empty inside. He's a straw dog. But all I can say is have mercy on his soul, because God don't like ugly. And to die an old fool is way worse than being a young fool. Because if you're near 80 years of age and have no empathy for mankind, womankind, children, you are truly ill. He's heartless. He's a stuffed dog. And have mercy today, he can no longer think for himself, wipe his tail. They'll probably let him sit in his own soil until he wilts away. And that would be more cruel than a drone to Mar-A-Lago and a punch to the gut, if you get my drift. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Follow me here on YouTube. Follow my community page for said updates to breaking news. I'll be back with more stimulating updates And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie129 Cash App. Stickers and chats always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for those in the chat for joining me. Happy Saturday. Stay hydrated. It's very warm here in the high 10. Check out my numerous shorts I did last night while I was out, giving you all the business, baby. Yeah, I had a little hot butter news for you all during that live late last night or this morning. I brought you the business of learning that one of my neighbors is allegedly HIV or has AIDS, and how I found out she had it. Shut your mouth. Check out my previous lives and my shorts. And also, as I said, run over to the Newsbreak app, download it, put it on your phone devices, and you also see content over there from Big Ange. Thank you for the new subscribers and putting me over 16,300 plus subscribers. I appreciate it, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you for your time.